Hey friends, it's Nicole from Nicole's Scrapbooks, and I'm here with another edition of Theme Park Thursday. We're almost to the end of Series 1 of Theme Park Thursday, but there is going to be a Series 2. I don't know quite how we're going to distinguish those, but today's layout, I had a lot of fun with it. I used the Magical Moments collection. It's part of the Growing Up collection. These were kind of specialty kits that came with that. If you didn't look at the Growing Up stuff because you thought, I don't have little kids, if you are a Disney fan, I would highly recommend that you look at this Magical Moments collection. It had stuff that was really great for Disney. So I'll link to that in the description on my Creative Memories website. If you want to look at those kind of closer up, there's a way you can flip through the pages and see all the things. But we basically did almost like a 3-in-1 layout again. And so I have the Mine Train and the teacups and Buzz Lightyear, and I got to use all these fun little Magical Moment embellishments and papers. And I did a handwritten title, which I'm still kind of feeling hesitant about, and I don't know why, because it fit the theme, and it was way better than if I had to color on a whole bunch of ABC stickers. So stay tuned to kind of see the process, how I came together with this. I did have an idea going in that I wanted to do kind of the 3-park layout, and I wanted to, or 3-ride layout, and I knew I wanted to use the Magical Moment stuff. So actually came together a little more quickly than normal for me because I didn't have to do as much thinking because I've kind of been thinking about this for a while since we did the Pirates a couple weeks ago. So stay tuned. Here we go, episode 83. All right, here we go. Just a couple more layouts. And this one is just random ride photos that we have left. And we have one of Buzz Lightyear, and I don't have one of Michelle. So I don't know if she went and did something else. Well, we went and rode Buzz Lightyear. I can't remember. My girls might remember. Their memories are just better than mine about stuff like this. But she did ride the teacups, which, you guys know about me and my motion sickness. I did not ride. And also Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which Katie usually rides, but I don't know. So I could theoretically do like just a Seven Dwarfs Mine Train page, which might be kind of fun. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do like one layout that's got all of these together. But I'm thinking about a layout that I did very early on. I can't remember which layout it was. I'll try and look it up after I finish filming this and put it in right here. But I did one layout, but I did three mini layouts on one layout. And so maybe I could do something like that where I do kind of something tied together, but then each of these has a separate section. And part of what's making me think about that is because 2 weeks ago, when we did the Pirates layout, I used Epic Adventures. And so we used the pirate paper with the stripe, this one. But the back of that was kind of this cowboy one, which is almost Seven Dwarfsy, but not quite. But I really liked this space paper, and I thought that would be really fun to use for Buzz Lightyear. So I thought maybe I could do something where I have like a little Buzz Lightyear section and a little teacup section and a little Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. So I thought I would pull out, I don't think any of the rest of these are going to match any of the other layouts. I wish I'd had this when we did Dino Land USA, but I have more Disney pictures. Have no fear. So I also brought home Hello Lovely, which I don't know if it has any. I was hoping it had like a little tea party set. I don't know if it does. I also brought home the Magical Moments, which also might have something, but maybe not. That one's cute with the little cowboy boots and disco balls. Makeup, little dollhouse. Okay, no teacups. I do like this kind of starry one. All right, no teacups on these. And Magical Moments. Actually, this pink right here, I'm thinking could match with that. So these are bundles. They come separately, but you can't buy them separately, the paper and then the embellishments. So this could be like little jewels for the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I thought it was more like fish scales, but I think it could be jewels. Then we got some mermaid stuff, some witch hat stuff upside down, and then, oh, the back is that pink. And actually, because these two are really busy, this one not quite as busy might be just what I need. I kind of like that one with the aliens. Does that have one that goes here that's aliens? I don't think we had one that was aliens. Oh, this one. Ooh, maybe I like this one better. Maybe the colors match better. The Buzz Lightyear matches better than the rockets. With the aliens, the rainbow stripe maybe. This does look kind of more like Under the Sea mermaid-y. Magic wand. I do like the little, this is too much, all of these together. But I'm thinking maybe, you know, it's nighttime, so maybe I want to use like dark sea green. All of these are light colors, so maybe the dark sea green, which I actually happen to just have already out from something else I was going to try. But if I did this as my background, and then did a panel of the space stuff and a panel of the pink and then a panel of this, I would definitely have to matte. I would cut these smaller. I think, I don't know, is this too, does this look too coral reefy? Maybe I need something from like Emerald Gemstone. I like that this has the pink because she's wearing the pink. And, you know, there's something satisfying about using papers from the same pack together. And for whatever reason, I'm feeling like I want to round the corners for some weird reason. I don't know why, what's inspiring that. But like round the corners on this and put it on, and maybe I won't go all the way. Maybe I won't do this. Oh, I have to go all the way because I got this piece. Let's see. I guess if I did it that way, I could just go to here. I could trim this down so that it fits, I think. So it's the same height. Then I could have this and have a little bit of blue over on this side. I think that's what I want to do. So I think I'm going to cut them like a 1/2 inch. So I'll cut the width first, and then I'm going to cut off a 1/2 inch. So I have a 1/4 inch on either side. And then I'll leave a 1/4 inch in between. Sorry, I'm crooked. I think these are going to go together. I love Michelle's little selfies. They're very fun. But do I want to put this, because this is more, like this is going to draw your eye. Do I want to put this on this side and then do it this way? How do I decide which person gets that focal point? Maybe I do it on this side and I pull these down a little bit so then I can put the title at the top. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out the widths of these, and then we can kind of play around with those sizes. So this is 4 inches. So if I do 5 inches, okay, I can't do 5 and 7 because that's exactly 12. But this isn't, oh, this is a true 4x6. It's a little shy of 6. I could maybe trim a little bit off. So if I do 5 inches here, 6, I need 6 1/4, which is only to there. Well, maybe I could trim one of those off. I do like this paper. It almost looks like it's got like a little glitter. Oh, I could use a little glitter pen on here. Okay, we'll do this at 5 inches, and I may trim it a little bit narrower. Actually, I'm going to cut this at 7, even though, well, I'll cut it at 6.5 because I know I won't do, I know I'm not going to go over the edge. However, you guys know me. I don't like to fold out the arm. I was telling somebody recently that the best math I know how to do is subtracting from 12. So I know that if I cut this at 5.5, this piece will be 6.5. So I'm going to cut it at 5.5 to give me this 6.5 inch piece right here. And then this one, I definitely want to have less. I don't want to use the whole paper. So if I do 1/4 inch and 1/4 inch here, I think I'll cut that at 9 inches. And of course, subtraction math means I'll cut 3 inches off. I kind of like this yellow. I'll cut 3 inches off right here. And then I'll cut a 1/2 inch off each of these on the bottom. I'm so excited to be almost done with this album. And I do have a sneak peek for you about what's coming next. So be sure to stay tuned. I'll do that at the end. I think I'm going to cut this top off because I've got little half spaceships there, and the bottom is whole. So I just cut off the little antennas on those spaceships. All right, so if we do, I guess I could just leave it like this and do more like this 1/8 of an inch gap in between, although that makes it a little bit, I don't know, we'll see. I really do like this on this pink. So yeah, this was called Magical Moments. It went along with the Growing Up collection. I think it might still be available. I don't know. Changes from day to day. I am going to cut a little bit more off of this. I think I do want this to be, I cut like a 1/4 inch off of that. I cut it 6.5, so it'll be 6.25. But I'm liking this. Oh, let's see, get all the way in the screen. I'm gonna need some mats. I actually kind of like the yellow. If I pull these down a little bit, I already cut a 1/2 inch off. I should have waited and cut a little bit more off. I think I'll do it like that. So like this one's at the bottom a little bit more, and that one's kind of staggered. I can probably cut a 1/4 inch off of this, and then this, I'll just cut a 1/4 inch, that'll be fine. This will be all right. Where's my corner rounder, I wonder? All right, it was actually put away in the drawer where I planned to keep it. So let's see if I do this about like that. So we cut it at 9 inches. Puts it right about there. That's what I'll do. I'll cut both of these at 9 inches, and sadly I'm gonna have to fold out my arm because I cut off that darn 1/2 inch. I mean, I think it would be 2.5 inches, but just to remind me that maybe don't cut, hold out my little leg so I know I'm straight. Maybe don't cut before I know what I'm doing. I did that on a previous Tomorrowland page. All right, let's try this again and see which one is going to give me a better top. It's going to give, either way, it's going to kind of be the same. This one, at least I didn't cut off their little antennas. And this one I need to cut another 1/4 inch off of the, I'll cut that side off. Oh, these are mats on the back. Okay, so this will be here. I'm going to trim just a smidge off of that. And this will be here. Oh yeah. And then these will be here. I like the way this is kind of going down. I feel like I'm a little bit crooked. My camera was a little bit tilted. That was why I was off the screen too. Apparently I had my camera tilted. There, that's better, right? That feels straighter. Cut 1/4 of an inch off of this guy. See, it's supposed to be a 4x6, but it's not quite 6 inches. I'm just gonna, I don't know how to make that a 1/4 inch off the edge. There we go. That gives us more similar gap on either side. And then this one, this is that 4 point, it's just shy of 4 1/4. So if I cut this piece off the top, not 4 1/4, sorry, 5 1/4. Was it last week or the week before that I said something about 2012 when I meant 2025? I'm like, what has happened to my brain? Okay, are those the same height now? There they are. Same height in this. Do I want to mat the photos? Part of me wants to mat the photos because I do like matting photos, but part of me just like wants to be done and make it faster. I do like this with this gap and that gap at the top. Do I round the corners of the photos and the paper? Do I not round the corners of the paper? I don't know why I have that in my head that I want to round the corners. I feel like if I round the corners of the paper, I need to round the corners of the pictures. And I think these would all be okay with a little rounded corner. So let's commit to rounding the corners. It's funny, you know, when I very first started doing CM, I started selling Creative Memories as a Creative Memories consultant back in 2002. And scrapbooking was very different then. It was simple. I would not probably have done this kind of a layout. I would have used my white page and I would not have put as big a background, I don't think. I would have maybe just done a border down the side. If you watched my recent album flip through of our family's trip to Disney in November of 2003, I found it very fascinating how different my scrapbooking style was, but also how much I enjoyed looking at that album. And actually, no, the other day, Michelle sent me a picture of what she was doing, and in the background, I saw her watching that video. So, and I think she watched it more than once. I don't know if she watches these, but if she does, hi, Michelle. Thank you. Okay. So I definitely could hollow this out if I wanted to save on paper. I could, you know, gut out the inside, what's going to be behind this. Maybe I should just to demonstrate again how to do that. But it would be kind of a pain to do it for this on this side. And because I ended up going to 3 albums, which I know is a lot. But, you know, I don't care. I love scrapbooking. I was talking to somebody recently about, you know, what happens to us when we are gone. When we go to that great scrapbook room in the sky and leave all of our albums to our families to deal with. And a lot of the albums, I mean, my girls might want this one. But, you know, I adored my grandmother. Loved her with everything I had. And I'm very thankful that she did not leave me 100 scrapbooks of her life. So, okay. I think this is what I want to do with the papers. And sorry about the glare. I know that that's, you know, that's my over 40 eyes. More and more over 40 every year. I think I am going to gut this one out. So I know that I cut this at 9 inches, right? So this piece right here is just 2 3/4. So reduce it 3 1/2. just to show you how to do it. I'm going to do 3.5, but I'm going to cut, I'm going to do an inch, start an inch down. So I've talked to you before about how this line is where the cut is, and then this piece is an inch. So instead of starting here at the top, I'm going to move this so the front of the housing lines up. Right now it's on the 1 inch line. I'm going to put it with, so the line is on the 2. And then I'm just going to pull so that I end it at the edge of the cardstock. I don't go all the way off the edge. And then the others I'll just put it on the 1 inch line. And I think I might have actually cut that a little too close in. Hopefully not. And Megan Jacks uses binder clips, and I keep thinking I'm going to do it. I actually put a thing on the bottom of my trimmer so that oh look, there they are. A magnet to keep them on there, but then I don't remember to use them. All right, so now I've got this piece of dark sea green that I can use for something else. And then I'll just stick this on there. And I did maybe come in a little bit close on that side. Yep, I only have 1/4 inch. So that's going to make sticking this down just a little bit tricky, but I'll be all right. What I'll do here is I'll put the adhesive just right here along the edge. And usually I would go, you know, the other direction. But because I cut so close, I'll just be very careful. On this one, I can give a little bit more. So this is where it's going to really stick on. That one side, it'll still stick down, but I think I went in 3 inches and I was supposed to go in 3.5. All right, I'm going to use my mat. And I do have 2 of them, but I don't, you know, I'm still not put back together from my grand intentions of redoing my scrapbook room. I don't know. I've told myself I can, if I just do 1 box a year and bring it back in, but I'm still trying to decide what I'm going to do with my organization stuff. I've actually been watching some of Lauren Hines videos, and I think I'm going to get some of the bigger cubes from Michael's. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. So, okay, there's that one. And then these, I'm not gonna gut out the middle. I'll put this down just to make sure that I have the spacing right. I think that works. Okay, so that just was weird. I wonder if that means my little thing is breaking. No, looks like it's all right. I'm so paranoid now, and I don't know where my big one is. I had it. I never did fix the refill that broke. I'm going to someday. I have it set aside, and I'm going to figure out how to make it work so I don't waste all that adhesive, but I don't want to do that. I want to just scrapbook. Okay, so now the question is, do I mat the photos? And if so, with what? I could do white. I could do yellow. I think the yellow would be good, but I almost feel like I don't need to mat the pictures because there's enough contrast between them and the background paper. I'm liking this. I'm liking this kind of step down. I think I need this, yeah, not up there is too much, but right there, kind of centered. I think you got this kind of visual triangle almost thing going on. So let's stick the pictures down. I'm going to have to ask them if, I think she did that while we did this one. I don't know. I don't know why Katie didn't ride the mine train with her, but you can see that it was obviously late at night. It was in March, so still kind of spring break time frame, but she was all by herself on the mine train. I mean, how random is that? That could have been one of those things where, like the last, the very end of the night, the park closes at 11 or something. If you get in line at 10:59, they let you ride. You don't have to, you don't have to ride before the park closes. They just close the line when the park closes. So I wonder how many times she did that when she was working for Disney. Okay, so I didn't really think about anything with those borders. It could be kind of fun to do the border kind of like the little rainbow border too, and I could do half and half. And then this one, I think I would do the yellow. So that's only those three. Let's try that. The odds of me ever wanting to use this as a whole piece of paper are very slim. So this is a relatively new mat, so I'm going to need my little sight lines. Oops, maybe that wasn't quite straight. There's definitely a trick, and I think it so much depends on kind of what angle you look at it from. That was a little bit better. Oh, it's interesting how they did the alien, the rainbow, and the yellow at the top, and the same, and then the next are two sets of three instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That makes it kind of nice because then you have the other whole sheet of paper at the bottom. Good job, CM. Okay. Oh, that one was almost spot on. All right, I am going to take this guy, and I just don't want that. A little pink strip. Okay, so this one was 6.5, and then I cut it down to 6 1/4. All right, I'm gonna fold the arm out. Oh, I can use my, I love that this one is the right width. So 6 1/4. There's still a little bit of pink on this side, so I'm not gonna use that piece. Oh, and it ends right on the right section. And then this one was 5 inches, I think. And I'll do 2 pieces. This one also, I got a little bit of the yellow on the bottom. And so I think I'm gonna trim those off after I cut them. 5. It's bent a little funny. 5. Just gonna slide this guy on here. Oh, it actually is lining up with this line right here. Whatever that is, a 3/4 inch line. It's hard when you're in these small measurements. I do actually usually like the 12-inch trimmer better for small measurements. But there we got that one, the teacups. And then this one was 9 inches, so I'm just gonna cut. Oh, look, that piece has a little bit of the blue, so I'll cut that side off. I'll cut the 3 inches off on this side. Yeah, there's a hair of the blue on here. I don't think you'd be able to see it. So what do we do here with the teacups and the, I'm gonna go move this up a smidge. I just ripped my paper, so I can't go up too far. I know, repo. Put that right down there. And then this could be, put a tape on the outside. Maybe it goes underneath like that. It's a hair longer than the piece. I'll have to trim a smidge off. Like that. Oh, I could have done it along either side, but I kind of like that. And then, oh, maybe up here. Maybe I scoot those guys down. We'll see if I can do it. Sometimes it pulls off the adhesive. But this is I'm not the adhesive, the paper. This is the only one that will matter, because the next one, if it rips it, I'll put that other thing above. Okay, I should have thought of this before I stuck my pictures down. Please forgive me. I guess I could leave that one right there. Nah, I like them better lined up. It's just funny how sometimes it does rip the paper. That one ripped the paper, and this one did not. What do we think? I don't know about this one. Maybe I'll scoot this down just a hair too, so that these need to be just a sliver off the edge. I mean, I could round the corner and put them at the top and bottom, but I think if I did that, I might want to do it this way. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, this one also needs just a sliver. Better to cut too small than too long. That one's just right. Okay. Wonder how a stripe would look here on this side. Maybe. No, I think that's too much. Too many patterns. A little, maybe this one's a little short of the right size. I'm going to put this one just so that it just goes right up to where the curve starts. And we'll pull it this way. I hope that's straight. It's a little crooked. I think I better need my mat again. Apparently I want it right at about this 3 1/4 inches down. Okay, then we'll put the picture. And then this one, actually, I can just butt this up against the picture, and that will make it be straight. I love to use something else on my layout to help keep my keep things straight. Then this one, just because I don't know, my picture is now looking crooked to me, so we'll put this at about 1 inch up. This time I'm not lining it up with the mat, I'm just lining it up with the edge of the paper. All right, now I'm going to pull out the embellishments that went along with this. I don't think it's going to work because of the mine train thing. Because I think this was supposed to be like mermaid stuff. I'm feeling like it needs some kind of a little border, like the little kind of drawn border that I do sometimes, the little swirlies, but that might be too much. Let's see what's in here. Be too much to hope for that there's teacups. I don't think the indoor play had a tea party. That would have been really fun. That little gnome garden is cute. Mermaid. A unicorn. My home is my castle. That could be cute. Little monster. Little witch stuff. There's a little monster for sure. It's like, almost like the little gremlins. Here's another. Unicorn, a knight. A dragon. A little fairy. A mermaid tail. I'm going to be using this on our next project for sure. Here's that little space alien. That works. I put a spell on you. That's actually a line in the Halloween parade at Disney. Some little aliens. Those are kind of cute. Little space aliens. Witchy stuff. Find me under the sea. Yeah, that's not what I want. Sorry, I don't speak human. Pixie wishes and fairy dust kisses. That's kind of cute. Probably these. The fairy probably goes with. Where did I put her? The fairy probably goes with these two. And then the mermaid goes under the sea. All right. So here's I could probably do something like this, actually. I need something that's just not... I don't think I have indoor play. Maybe I do. All right, I do not. But I do like this little gnome house. I think that's going to work okay for these. All right, but what about, then with this, it almost acts as a title, but I want to do, I'm thinking I want to say just one last ride, and then we did 3, but I do like these little aliens. I think I'll keep that. I think I'll keep that. It's not 100% because it was Mine Train, but I think I'm liking these. Do I put them on foam squares? Maybe. Then do I do something around the edge? You know what maybe I'd want to do is just the gold pen. This is the metallic gold. So where's that piece I cut off? Another great reason to cut, save these things is so that you can have something to test on. So if I were to take my pen and just kind of do a little gold border around the edge, I think that might work for what I want to do here. All right, I'm going to take these off. And this one's a little tricky. You have to have a pretty steady hand. You could use a ruler to help you line it up. If I wanted anything wider, I would use my ruler, but I think I'm just going to cross my fingers, and this dark sea green cardstock is pretty thick. So I'm just writing along the edge. And like I say, being careful that I'm, using it as a straight edge. There. I like it. And then I'll do the other outside edges of this one too. It's funny because I feel like before I started this particular album project, I didn't really do that many borders, like not like CM style borders, but like this kind of a border where I felt like I needed to have a, you know, an edge on the paper. But for whatever reason in this project, and maybe it's just my scrapbooking style, the paper was a little bit not right there. Okay, but except for that piece, now I'm gonna take this piece that I was practiced on. And we're gonna just patch that little spot. Interesting. The paper like folded up. So like it was crooked. It wasn't down, and so my pen caught on it. That's what happened. Oh. Thankfully, I have this whole section that's going to be just all right. I have to fix that piece. So this is what happens when you mess up. Actually, yeah. I'll go all the way under. And I might even do like along the outside edge. I'm not going to go to the edge because I want to keep this border right there. Oh, because I'm going to put the gnome house right there. Ha! We'll just cover that up. I mean, you can kind of see that right there, but I don't think it's going to be too noticeable that I patched this piece. It's a little high. I didn't put all the way down. Just match that edge. I'm going to use the skinny side to just... Actually, that looks pretty close right there. All right, I'll pull it up so you guys can see. That's where that little error is. But I think it'll be okay. We'll put this right there and distract from the patch. I almost feel like this needs to be like inked around the edges or something, but I don't want to do inking. Not my thing. I think I'll just stick this down, and then I might put her on a little foam. Well, I don't think I will do foam dots. I think I'm just going to put these down. But right here, it didn't quite match. You know, I cut the piece a little too small, so there we go. Nobody will ever know. Actually, I think I'll use the repo on her little ends. I'm excited about the project I've decided to do next. Okay. And then part of me doesn't really want to put this on this side. I want to put it on that. Oh, if I put it on that, no, then I've got the aliens right here next to the little gnome house. I don't want them to be together. Well, I guess I could put them together. Like that. They could stand here on the top of the picture. That's kind of cute. That gives me like the 3 little clusters. I think I'll do that. Change my plan. That way I don't cover up my little border down here. And going to do again the repo because it's got all these little pieces, but I'll put full strength adhesive on the oh yeah, a little bit over. And you see they're standing on my picture, so they're not like floating in space. That's something that really bothers me in scrapbooking, when things are like, you just leave your embellishment hanging in space, except when like they can fly. Okay, so we did final treats for the last one. I could do just one more ride or 3. Part of me is tempted to just handwrite it rather than, you know, I've done a couple of handwritten titles in this book. And looking at my old albums, I didn't mind my handwritten titles. And the thought of having to color in all those sticker letters to write just one more ride or 3 is a lot. I think I'm going to do it. And I'm going to sketch it out with pencil first. Well, we didn't do 3 rides because Michelle did one, or we did one and Michelle did 2. But I think I will still say just one more ride or 3. And let's see. This is not quite 3 inches. So if I'm going to do a little pencil line about 1. I'll do it 1.5 inches down here, and then the next one I'll do, it'll only be an inch difference between those, because that way I leave a little gap at the top. I'll try to keep my letters about an inch tall. Just one more ride or 3. All right, so can you see the little pencil? That's just going to be my guide. When I was in the 5th grade, I feel like those bloggers, you know, I just want to get to the recipe, Nicole, but when I was in the 5th grade, we got out of school early on Wednesdays. And when I was in 5th grade, they did this thing where we had these after school programs you could stay for. And I took a calligraphy class, and it was very fun. And I do still love handwriting-y stuff. This has like it's from where that paper was messed up. Okay, I don't hate that. I'm gonna, like, now that I've got it down here, I'm gonna come back later and erase all the pencil lines, but I'm just gonna kind of thicken up some of these lines. Smooth out where it was a little bit wobbly. And again, if I hate this, this is just on a piece of cardstock. I could even flip it over and use the back. So of course you wouldn't do this if you hate your handwriting. I meet a lot of people that say, oh, I hate my handwriting. But handwriting is like anything else. If you take your time, if you practice, you can learn to have handwriting you like. I can always tell when I've written, when I'm in a hurry and I've written fast, versus when I, take my time. Although with cursive, I think it flows better for me if I do kind of go fast. And apparently I can't really talk while I do this. All right. Oh, I wish I could remember what happened on this one. But I think, you know, the park was mostly empty. Michelle went to ride I can't remember which one she did first. I think she went to ride the teacups, but we didn't want to ride, so we went and did Buzz Lightyear. No, I think I'm just going to ride. I think I'm going to put it on maybe I think I want to put on a little journal box. Maybe not. I guess this is white. That's white. I could just journal over here, I guess. Maybe that'll be all right. And if I hate it, then I'll cover it up with the journal box. I think I'm going to say we always stay late on the last night, trying to squeeze in as much magic as we can. I mean, I don't need, you know that this is the Mine Train, the teacups, and Buzz Lightyear. So, okay, I think that's what I'm going to write right here. We always close down the park on our last, we always like to close down the park on our last night to get in as many rides as we possibly can. Okay, but I started writing with this, and I forgot that it's like the pen is it's the fine tip, but it's like a felt tip pen. It's wide. So I am going to use a piece of white, and I'm going to journal in, I don't know what color, maybe pink. And I'm just going to use a piece of this, you know, piece of this extra paper that I have on my stash. This is actually an old one, so it's the cardstock, which I really liked. So I do want to have this now come into here. So 5 inches, I think 4.5 is gonna, it needs to cover up the place where I started writing. And I think I'm going to say something now, since I have a little bit more space, about the lines are short. Maybe I'll just say, you know, we always like to close down the park, squeeze in a few last minute rides when the lines are super short or something like that. It's funny, a lot of people like to do the rope drop thing where you know, go to the park right when they open. But so many people do that now that sometimes the lines are long. That's not quite covering up where I wanted to cover up. It goes right there. I might need to put something there, but I don't know what. I wish I had like a little heart or something. Maybe I could punch a heart out of something like this just to cover up my mistake. All right, let me journal and I'll come back because I can't talk and journal at the same time. Okay, I did my journaling and it doesn't quite fit where like if I want to do the spacing constant, but I think I'm just going to make wider spacing so that I can cover up where I made my little mistake. I pulled out this. I wish I had a punch that made like this kind of a little starburst. And, you know, we probably did at one point. And we probably do, and I probably own it, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. So I'm just going to just cover that up. Nobody has to know. It'll be fine. I do feel like this kind of pulls your eye because it's white. And maybe I should have done this on a white piece, but it's all right. It's totally fine. I don't love the title. I cleaned it up a little bit. I erased all the pencil lines. I really, really like these polymer erasers. It doesn't necessarily have to be this Pentel brand. That's usually my favorite, but there's something about this white eraser that doesn't damage the paper. I mean, if you've ever used like the pink eraser on the top of a regular pencil, mechanical pencils usually have the white erasers and they're just better. I don't know what it is, why these are better, but the pink ones like mess up your paper, and this just takes the pencil off. So I think we're done. I may come back to this. Well, all of them. I may come back to them someday. But actually, years ago, I made a rule for myself with scrapbooking that I can't come back and redo a layout until I'm caught up. So if in, 20 years or something, I am caught up and have nothing else to do, and I decide, yeah, I really wish I would have done this with stickers, then maybe I can change it. But because I have a couple that I did handwrite the title, and because just a couple weeks ago I did the album flip through of my 2003 Disney trip where I did a lot of handwritten titles because I didn't have a Cricut. I didn't have die cuts. I might have had my Sizzix then, but that was a pain and they were huge. So this is episode 83. One more ride. We'll call it one more ride. Or last rides. Last rides. That almost sounds like last rites. Maybe I'll call it final rides. I'll call it one more ride, and then you guys will know the secret that it's more than one ride. Okay, so I'm going to clear this off, and then I'm going to show you a sneak preview of what is coming in a couple of weeks. And that is this giant box from Snapfish. I sat down a few nights ago, and I ordered 2,200 pictures. 17 pounds. This tiny box of pictures, 17 pounds. I think they're all 4x6s. Oh, look, they sent me a thank you note. 30 that are the digital, 269 that are 4x6, and 13 I did 5x7s. Oh, I got 2 thank you notes. So all of these pictures, and we are going to do, let's see, can anybody guess? How about this? Oh, I'll show you this because this is my favorite. Yep, Disneyland and California Adventure. The Theme Park Thursday trip that I've been working on was in March of 2022, and then Michelle graduated from college at Auburn, and we went to Disneyland in May of 2022. So that's what these pictures are. I'll get them sorted. So all we've got left is these last 2, Magic Kingdom at Night and the Fairy Wings. And I think I'm going to do the Fairy Wings next. And then I don't know, because I want the train station to be our last page, except I forgot that we might have had something else that happened after Katie's flight got canceled and stuff. So I may have to do a last page, but in any case, two more weeks of Theme Park Thursday, and then I guess we're going to go to Theme Park Thursday Series 2. So thanks to all of you who've stuck with me all through these 83 episodes. Looks like we'll be at 85, maybe 86 total. And then I think we have many more weeks left. I don't remember how many pictures we did for this trip, but this was fewer days, but Disneyland and California Adventure have more things that are new to us. And so, yeah, there we go. You ready to stick with me for another year and a half? I hope you are. So thanks so much for watching episode 83. I'll be back next week with another edition of Theme Park Thursday. And until then, happy scrapbooking.